What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's The Big Thing. Thanks for joining me here today on the show. So I'm getting used to the fact that Big Thing now is Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Obviously, because of Wednesday, we got all the Boba Fett stuff. If you didn't already know, and you're brand new to the channel, or if you hadn't hit that notification button, please do that. Subscribe. That's the top over there. You subscribe, you get all this stuff. But if you hit the notification button, then you know when I am putting stuff out. As I said, we have a lot of great things happening. Tomorrow, the show's going to be out a little later, probably around 4 or 5 p.m., but for good reason. I got the creators of Cobra Kai coming on, both Josh, John, and Hayden. They're coming on. We're going to talk spoiler-heavy Season 4 talk with the guys. I'm excited. I get to talk to them. I've been talking to them every season, so to have them back on, just going to shoot the shit about everything going on. Will I get spoilers for Season 5? No. I'll ask, like I always do, but they won't give me shit about that, and we don't really want that. But it's going to be a lot of fun here today. I'm just going to go through a lot of, as you see in the title of this episode, that's from one of your questions today, and that's what we're going to do at the end of the episode today. We're going to go through the questions that you guys submitted through Facebook, and we'll just talk about it. This was kind of light on the news today, but there was some news, but we'll get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is The Big Thing. Thank you for joining me here today. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's The Big Thing. A lot of news going on in the world today, in the world of movie news, pop culture. I'm Kristian Harloff. Hope you're liking the new setup. It's not done yet. Still working on it as the new year is happening. With the state of the world as the way it is at the moment, I don't have any in-studio guests, and it's bumming me out because we're having such a rhythm on it, but it'll come back soon. So, and I like doing these solo shows. It gets the reps going and all that kind of shit. So we're just gonna go over some stuff that if you're brand new to the channel and you're like, well, what the hell is this show? Normally it's me and a guest just kind of riffing on things that are happening in the world of movie news or one particular topic. Sometimes we do rewatches. We did a whole rewatch series of Spider-Man and The Matrix. I had Coy Jandreau, Winston Marshall, Kate on. Sometimes Steph Sabra will be on the show, and Kate Mulligan, Brett Sheridan, Mark Ellis. We do a lot of stuff on The Big Thing. And then Sith Council is myself, Steph, and Mike Kalinowski. But we'll just go over some topics and things I want to talk about. I might miss some stuff. I might not miss some stuff. I don't know. There's a bunch of shit that's going on in the world. But the first, had to pay respects to Peter Bogdovovich, who was a legend. I obviously know him very well from The Sopranos. That's where the shot comes from. As you can see in the background there, I'm a Sopranos guy. But legend of the game, man. And he passed away natural causes. I believe that he was 81 years old. I want to confirm that before I say that it is 82, excuse me. He did a lot of great stuff, man, whether it was the Last Picture Show, which he got nominated for Best Director. He's been in so many different things, whether it was Kill Bill, Sopranos, It Chapter 2. He's been around for a very long time, and he was a legend, and he was so good on The Sopranos. Elliot. Really, Elliot? So, always the same thing. Anytime anyone passes away, we give respect to the man's family, and seemed to live a pretty great life, and we give respect to him. He was great, man. He was really, really great. Sad to lose him, but again, I thank him for all the wonderful things that he contributed. All right, we're going to move on to something happier. So Tom Holland is out there. This guy's everywhere, isn't he? Tom Holland. What he's doing. Are more people excited about Uncharted now because of him? I know everybody's like, nah, it's just Spider-Man, though. It's really not Drake. I don't disagree with that. I still want to see it, though. I'm excited about it. Fingers crossed. I like Wahlberg, but Sully, to me, he is not. A lot of these stories, by the way, I get from Dark Horizons. And this is where they're just talking about, I guess he was talking to Total Film Magazine, and he revealed that he tried to pitch a James Bond origin story, but the powers that be were like, basically, nice try, kid. What he said was, I had a meeting after or during Spider-Man 2, Far From Home, with Sony, to pitch this idea of young Bond that I'd come up with, and it was the origin story of James Bond. It really didn't make any sense. It didn't work. It was the dream of a young kid, and I don't think the Bond estate was particularly interested. Yeah, well, not with that kind of no confidence inside of that pitch. Though the pitch failed in terms of Bond, that interest in an origin story for a franchise character led him to scoring this year's film adaptation of the Uncharted game. The idea of a young Bond film sparked this idea in turn that you could do a Nathan Drake story as an origin story rather than an addition to the games, and that opened a conversation. I don't know. I'm nervous about that movie. I really like the video games a lot. The adventure of it, I like the character of it. I don't know. He's a really great actor. So could he pull it off? And they did an origin story kind of with his brother. And it was the fourth game. I don't remember when they did the flashback scene. You play as a young him a couple times. So they could do that. But young or not, I just don't think Wahlberg fits the idea of what we all thought Sully was going to be or who he was going to be. It just seemed like Wahlberg. I like Wahlberg, but it's just, it's different. I think people who don't know the game, they're not going to give a shit. It's going to be a fun adventure movie for them. And that's really a lot of time what they do when they go after these audiences. They go, okay, well, as long as we can get some of the video game audience, but we really got to make it like more mainstream. I always think that's this is a series that absolutely should have been a streaming show. Absolutely should have been a streaming show. They should have found somebody, maybe a different cast, and they should have done a streaming show. Because so much content that you have for one game, much rather what's 4 for Uncharted. So, yeah, I beat that drum maybe too much, I know, but I just think that for something like video games in general, I think that's more the argument. I put a poll today up on this channel, and I asked people, what do you prefer right now? Do you prefer the Star Wars movies, or do you prefer Star Wars TV? And some people are like, why can't we have both? And I was like, that's not the question. The question isn't whether what can you have. It's a question is what do you prefer at the moment? And the reason I prefer Star Wars television is because of the reason I'm talking about games here. And that's you have more opportunity to really dive in and develop the characters. Like if you took Mandalorian and some people disagree with me on this, but if you put Mandalorian into two-hour movies, condense both seasons into two-hour movies, I think you lose a lot. People are like, oh, you cut out a lot of the fat. I don't believe so. I think you would lose a lot. You would condense it into 2 movies, 3 movies. Some movies, whether it was that Rogue Squadron movie, that could have been interesting as a standoff film. And I'm not saying that Star Wars can never be filmed. I'm just saying for me, my preference is TV, and I think my preference for video games would be the same thing for them to do a series. Because I think that's the reason people are, why are video games still not working? A lot of different video game movies. That's one of the reasons is that there's so much detail in the story. Look at Last of Us. I bet you Last of Us does very well. I bet you it does very, very well. And hopefully it starts a trend that the video game properties go away from movies and start playing into television, right? I mean, even look at The Walking Dead. It was a comic book, but look at Walking Dead. There's so much detail inside of the comic books themselves. They didn't just try to do a movie out of it. They're going to do a movie, but that's after, seasons upon seasons of television. It just allows you to explore inside of that lore. And I think something like Uncharted or any of these games, if they ever do the Knights of the Republic, again, back to Star Wars, they should do it as far as a series because it's just too much detail. And when you try to condense the way that they have with other video games, whether it's Max Payne or I don't know, any of the video game movies, it just hasn't worked because it's too condensed. And you're trying to take all of this stuff, and a lot of the other times is that they don't try to. You have to always, if there's something that's popular, whether it's a book, a comic, you have to make sure that the original fan base of that property is not going to be pissed off at how much you change it. There's always going to be complaints about it. There's always going to be with books, especially with a book. If you condense it into a 2-hour movie, people are going to be, you left this out, you left that out. That's part of it. Understandable. It's also another reason that there's streaming just changed the game for me as far as content goes. If there's a book that, well, you don't have to condense it. You can turn it into 6 episodes of a show and really get into that detail. And sometimes you don't need that detail. If it's so internal. There's something like, First Blood. A lot of people don't realize this, that First Blood, David Morrell book that came out in 1972. I've talked about it a few times, which is the Rambo story. You hear Rambo and automatically you think Stallone because he made an iconic character. But the book is a very, very thoughtful, like it was Vietnam was still going on at the time when it came out in 72, and this was PTSD and how this vet was dealing with it, and he's brutal in it. Like Stallone lets people live in the movie because it's Stallone. It's Rocky. He's got to be a hero. And not in the book. He kills everybody. And the book was condensed into a movie, and it worked, and it ultimately turned into a franchise, but it was condensed, right? David Morrell, I don't know I know he didn't like the last one. But anyway, point is there are books that can be condensed into movies, but I think the same thing with games. I don't know, there's just so much material that I think that we're just so used to movies being the end-all be-all. Everybody wants to see it on the big screen. Everybody, it's so pure. The movies don't. Oh my God, how do you see movies over TV? Like, still, that's why people are saying, how do you want Star Wars TV over movies? Because for me, it's the property. I love the experience of it. I love going to the movie theater to watch Star Wars and feeling the sound and watching the big. But I'm there for the story. I'm there for the story. I'm there for the characters, and I just get my fix on that through television right now. And I might very well get that through Last of Us. Never played the game. Have it. Should play it. Everybody tells me I should play it. But I'm feeling like and I might be wrong, but because people love that game. I'm so curious to see what the fans think of this series, because it's going to say a lot. I'm telling you, this series is a massive hit. You're going to see more video games start to go away from movies if they were smart and go into TV. Let's move on. I hate this fucking microphone sometimes, I swear. All right, next one. So that was a long-winded way on one story, but the next one is the Sundance thing. I don't want to keep talking about these types of stories because this is the same type of shit that we had to talk about for a while. For the last 2 years, I thought we were getting out of it. And I believe we are finally going to get out of it in the next couple of months. But I just did that whole news piece that came out on Morbius, and now here's another one. I mean, with the awards that are getting moved around, and here's another one. In an abrupt about-face just weeks before it's scheduled to happen, the Sundance Film Festival is going to scrap the in-person event in Utah, and it's now pivoting to go entirely virtual due to the spread of the Omicron variant. According to the press release, the organizers say that they do not believe it is safe nor feasible to conduct such a gathering, as overwhelmed communities are struggling to provide essential services in some places. In addition, case numbers are apparently forecasted to peak in Utah's Summit County around the time of the festival, so we can't put our staff and community at risk. Look, this is the safe move. There's no reason that this is the right move. It's the right move. It just sucks. It just sucks because they just had, like I said, Morbius is moving. Scream. A lot of people are not too pumped about Scream. I put it in my anticipated this. I'm curious about it, and I want to see that movie. But I don't think it would have necessarily done great beforehand. I think pre-sales were actually pretty good for it. So I don't know, but I think it's gonna take a hit. It seems like it's still releasing, but I think it's gonna take a hit. And I think that we're another 2 months of this, and then hopefully this seems to be the peak around the curtain. It seems to be it. We'll see, but this was the move. You had to make this move. I understand why they made this move. I think they have to make this move. I know this, and please, I get it. I know there are a lot of people who don't political made this thing's political. Here's the reason why. No. We don't need to get into that. It's just let's just all hope. Let's just kumbaya this shit together and say let's just get the fuck out of this thing. That's it. Whatever it is, let's just get out of this thing. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, let's keep on moving. Next one. I had to put this in there. Beavis and Butthead, everybody, coming back. Paramount Plus. Where the hell is it? I just saw it somewhere. Where did I see Beavis and Butthead? I saw this story, Beavis and Butthead. I saw them coming back. Where the hell did I see that? Oh, anyway, I pulled the damn picture from it. Beavis and Butthead are coming back, and Paramount Plus is going to do it. Here's the story. Beavis and Butthead creator, Mike Judge, announced that both a brand new film and more material based on the 1990s MTV cartoon characters is in the works. The adult animated series about two teenage slackers who were both voiced by Judge ran for 8 seasons, and saw a brief revival on Comedy Central in 2011. I don't remember that. Beavis and Butthead will be returning this year with a brand new movie and more on Paramount. No exact date, but soon. They need some time to get back in shape. Are they coming? They're coming in. I got to put this picture up there. I didn't see this before. They're coming in old. It's incredible. Hold on. So they're rebooting it to where they're not coming back as they were. They're coming back as, look at this. Wait, that's old Beavis. That's great. Look at old Beavis. And then where is it? I got to put old Butthead up here. Old Butthead. Old Butthead and old Beavis. This is awesome. Hold on. Look at this. This is so stupid. That's great. Okay, good. All right. I'm down now. I was like, we can just do the same thing again. The teenagers, they're not teenagers though. They're gonna be. That's pretty stupid. That's pretty stupid. I love it. Have old Butthead and old Beavis. Obviously, look. I mean, how stupid is that? Look at that. That's pretty great. Beavis is still kind of in shape. Not in shape. He's got a little bit of a pouch. He looks all right. He's got all of his hair. Butthead's a mess. Butthead is a mess. And he was always the leader. Oh, it's great. All right. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot. I liked Beavis and Butthead when I was a kid, so to check it out and see. And I'll be honest, if they were just going to do another them teenagers watching new music videos or YouTube videos, that's probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to do YouTube videos and then comment on it, but as adults. And that could be fun. That could be fun. I don't know. I wonder if this... I'm so curious for those people who are watching that didn't grow up with it. If you did grow up with it, are you excited for it to come back, or the time has passed? For those people who have no idea what the hell Beavis and Butthead, or just kind of knew them from the pop culture kind of zeitgeist, would you give this a shot, or there's too much shit to watch? I'm curious. I don't know. I don't know if there's an audience for it anymore. I hope there is. Look, when you throw in the nostalgia dart, you're going to hit me in the head with it. You are. Well, everybody's going after nostalgia. They're coming after me. That's what they're coming after. And I'll definitely check it out for sure. What did I do with that? Did I shut the whole thing down? No, I got it. All right, so that was that one. Beavis and Butthead. It's incredible. All right, what's next? Oh yeah, so the same shit. People moving stuff around, and there's only minor delays happening over the variant right now. So it's like productions aren't shutting down. So this is what this report, again, Dark Horizons here. You can find a lot of these stories over there. Following last year's winter surge, delaying the post-holiday break return to production on most TV shows, the rapidly spreading variant is doing it again, albeit to a lesser degree. And this is what Deadline is reporting, that NCIS paused production after a positive test believed to involve a cast member. While the intention is still for the show to resume filming next week, the trade says it may stay dark for a couple of weeks. Meanwhile, NCIS LA has delayed return to production until February. Over on NBC, Chicago Fire suspended filming today after a number of positive tests. Disney, meanwhile, has pushed back a return to production across the board by a week. Amazon, Warner Brothers, Universal lot. On the Universal lot, there are reportedly no major outbreaks or week-long production shutdowns involving series filming, even as dozens of positive cases were recorded. All right, so I think that this is everybody doing the same thing. Look, I'll even say this too. Was this not like I guess it is an official announcement. I had a meeting yesterday about Schmoedown. Schmoedown was supposed to happen at one particular date, and we're probably going to push the production of this because they said, well, do you want to do digital? I said, no, absolutely not. We're not doing digital. So instead of doing that, I'd rather just, same thing. Make sure everybody's safe, push it back, and if it's a little bit of a shorter season, so be it. But as long as everybody's safe, because I think everybody in this side of the things are doing the same thing. Let's push. Let's wait. We'll change our dates, but hopefully, fingers crossed that this is the start of the endemic. This is what we're hoping for, right? That's the hope. This is the last hurrah for this son of a bitch. We'll see. So that's just another story. Just another story, everybody. All right, moving on to the next one here. Is that everything? Oh, there's a full trailer. This was the one I want to talk about. Just watch this trailer. I was going to do a reaction to it yesterday. I did my trailer reaction of Ozark today. So I don't know if you guys saw that. Maybe if you watch that show, my trailer reaction is up right now of the new season. I didn't realize that how soon that comes out. Ozark, that is, comes out soon. This one, man, it's getting a lot of play. 3 million hits already on this trailer trailer in general. Came out of the story of Tommy Lee. Lily James is playing Pamela Anderson. Sebastian Stan is playing Tommy Lee, and they had a tape. They had a sex tape. What happened to that tape? It was stolen from their house, and it was stolen from their house and by these two schmucks, and they put it on the internet. And what it shows in this trailer is it showed you how powerful the internet was becoming at that time, and how kind of naive people were to it at the time. Even there's that one line by Pamela Anderson. It's like, oh my God, dozens of people, dozens. Every college, that was played the same way that Boba Fett has being played, millions. So, yeah, man, it's so funny. I can hear my daughter asking where this is like the worst time. We're in the middle of this story. And you got a kid asking you questions. I had to scream something out. This is the thing when you're taping shows at home, but it's part of it. But that tape, yeah, it changed a lot. It changed a lot, and there's obviously, I think the performances so far look great. Seth Rogen, Lily James, Tommy Lee, so much great stuff happening in this trailer. It's a Hulu series. I thought it was a movie, but it's a series. I'll be watching it. I'll definitely be watching this series. It looks really good. They look great. I wonder how badly it screwed up the relationship, right? A lot of times when these tapes happen, a lot of the leaks, they're leaked on purpose. Like I still believe both the Kim Kardashian and the Paris Hilton tapes were leaked on purpose. I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion. This one, for the publicity side of it, I never knew, but then obviously not the case. Their freaking place was robbed. Their safe was robbed, and they showed the whole thing. And the trailer is great. The music, the Meatloaf track playing in the back. This series is going to be interesting, and I'm curious how they're going to play it. And it's the director of I, Tonya, so looks really good. I'm curious what you guys think. Go ahead and comment and let me know in the comments if you're excited about it. Well, that's not yet. I think there's one more story. Is there one more story? Or is that it? That might have been it. Oh no, there's this John Wilkes Booth movie. That's not John Wilkes Booth, but that's the guy who's going to be playing John Wilkes Booth. Love them in Game of Thrones, love them in Rome, and they're doing John Wilkes Booth. I mean, it's Apple. Apple, I don't know how Apple's views are, but they seem to get some quality shit, but it just doesn't seem like, I don't know. Apple Studios and Lionsgate, they're producing Manhunt, which is a period true crime drama series for Apple TV that follows the hunt for Abraham Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth. Emmy Award winner Tobias Menzies, who is set to play the starring role of Edwin Stanton, who is Lincoln's war secretary and loyal friend who conducts a desperate search and goes to great lengths to catch the killer. Okay, so that's who he's playing. At the same time, he must uphold Lincoln's legacy as his reconstruction plan is underway. The series will use James Swanson's award-winning novel of the same name as its basis, along with other informative surrounding Lincoln's death, to craft a high-tension conspiracy thriller. Historical figures like Mary Sims, a former slave of the doctor who treated and protected Booth, also plays a prominent role in the investigation. The project hails from writer-producer Monica Beletsky, where Carl Franklin will direct. This one, to me, seems like it could be pretty good. It seems like it'd be all right because I like the cast. History, you'll get me on history every single time. And this was one that, this John Wilkes Booth, man. What he did. And the politics behind it, and the hunt for him is going to be interesting. How he was caught. So I like it. I like that they're doing it. Sounds good. Okay. Always a little bit of a shorter shows when I do some of these by myself, unless there's like something really major. So what I like to do, I'll cover the topics up top, and then I go to my Facebook group, my page. If you're not following me over there, please do, because this is where I take the questions from. So I took a bunch today. And we'll start with Matt Moore. And Matt Moore starts us off and says, hey, How do you prefer Superman? Dark and gritty, a.k.a. Henry Cavill, to date, or light and optimistic Christopher Reeve and all the other actors who have been cast in the part? Well, thank you, Matt. I don't know. It's a tough question because I really liked what Henry Cavill did. I loved Man of Steel, and I loved the Christopher Reeve movies, the one and two anyway. And there was some darker moments, especially in the Richard Donner cut, in both 1 and 2. 3 and 4 started to become, like, 4 is the Batman, the Batman and Robin of the series. It's terrible with Nuclear Man and all that shit. It's terrible. But I liked what they did with Christopher Reeve. They kept the comic, the representation of him, of how he was it was a very different time, even in the 70s, from how he was projected in the 40s and everything. As time changed and they wanted to get away from that Boy Scout thing, then they went to the Henry Cavill side of it. So there's really no clear-cut answer for me on that, because it's very, I don't know if it's a cliche answer or whatever the answer might be, but it's a matter of however it's done. If it's done the right way, if it's good story, if the director sees it the right way and presents it the right way, I'm all for it. So there's really no clear-cut answer for me on that particular one. So thank you, Matt, for asking that one. John D. Gregorio. I am an indie podcaster myself, and I was wondering what's the best thing that I can use to take care of background noise. Well, clearly, with the dog sniffing in the background and kids sending drones through the bottom of the garage, I am not the person to ask that question. You can hear it. My wife is about to enter in any second just to get the dog. And then you have my kids who were screaming about the drones and sending it's chaos. So I don't know how to answer your question. And if you can give me advice once you figure it out, I would appreciate that very much. So I don't know. I have no idea. They're looking for the dog. They don't know where the dog is. I can tell you the dog is over here. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. All right. He's over there. Look by the kids' bikes, for God's sakes. I'm on air. This is amazing. Unbelievable. So here you go. This is what goes on in my life. Now you're going back under. You have no idea what I go through every day. This is how it works. This is how it works. All right, let's get to the next question. Next question here. Dominic Chizinski. Good morning, Kristian. Huge fan of yours and huge Star Wars fan. So I'm going to make this very Star Wars centric. When do you think Kenobi will actually be out? Do you think Boba will go off-world and have some good cameos? I wasn't crazy about Episode 2. Kind of sick of Tatooine, to be honest. Can't wait for Ahsoka. Do you think Thrawn will show up in Ahsoka or before? And if so, will Mikkelsen be playing him or someone younger? Thanks for the amazing channel. Keep up the good work. All right. So let's start this off. Kenobi. When will it actually be out? Let's do the math on it. If they're going to put this out before Andor, which I believe they will, I don't think you're going to get a trailer for Obi-Wan until after Boba's done, or maybe towards the end of it. But I think you get a Marvel series after. You're going to get a Marvel series in like February, right, when Boba's done, depending on how many episodes that is. I think Obi-Wan comes out in like May. I would say probably May, right around the time where Celebration is, or maybe even June. I don't know, maybe around the May or June. And then you'll get Andor, and then maybe even Mandalorian, or not. But didn't they might have pushed Andor. They might have pushed Andor from what I remember. So, I think that Obi-Wan is the question on the table. And that's probably a good question. Maybe that's even the title of the episode today, Dominic, is when will we finally see Obi-Wan? And maybe that's February. Oh, excuse me, May or June, as if I was going to guess. Do I think Boba's going to go off-world and have some good cameos? I mean, in the trailer, you see Slave One taken off. So maybe, depending on the flashback, I'm changing my tune a little bit, even though I don't necessarily want them to keep sticking around inside of that. People are like, "Oh, you don't like the flashbacks with the Tusken Raiders?" I love the flashbacks with the first two episodes. I just think it's time for them to now move on and do other things. But I think that reading enough of the comments, and thank you to everybody who's commenting inside of that review. We got, I think, a record amount of comments inside of that spoiler review. But I think that after looking at all the comments that were there, I'm starting to agree that chapter, the Book of Boba Fett, it's going to flash back from that period on, from the Sarlacc on. I thought it would be, okay, we're going to see times from him in the Clone Wars. We're going to see time for him with, Cad Bane. We're going to see times for him, during the time of Empire. We're going to see times for him working with BK. That's what I'm calling the Wookiee now. And, that's what I thought we were going to see. But I think I'm starting to agree with a lot of people who say it's going to be flashbacks from the time from the Sarlacc, leading up to the events in Mandalorian. That's my guess anyway. Do love this question though, by the way. So as far as going off world though, maybe towards the end of it, because he's got to go find because he sticks on Tatooine the whole time, because that's when he gets his armor back. So no, I don't think he will. I wasn't crazy about episode 2. I really liked it. Kind of sick of Tatooine. I understand that. Can't wait for Ahsoka. Also, same page. Do you think Thrawn will show up in Ahsoka or before? That's when he's going to show up in Ahsoka. That's exactly when he's showing up. And if so, will Mikkelsen be playing him? Seems to be not Mads, but his brother playing him. So that seems to be a major rumor, and I think Rosario Dawson even spoiled it somewhere. Someone younger? No, it'll be Mikkelsen. Thank you for the amazing channel. Thank you for watching, and keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Very kind of you guys. I do have to stop and say, I am so thankful to all of you, for the new subscribers, for the people who've been here from the beginning. I've been pushing really hard on this channel. As you know, I've been having the most fun I've ever had. I have commented back to everybody on this channel. If you've left a comment, I have responded back to you, and I will continue to do that. It takes me a bit. It took me a while for those Boba Fett. It took me 2 days to, or the second 2 days. We just put the stupid thing out yesterday, but it took me 24 hours at least to go through it. It felt like 2 days. So thank you guys. It took me 2 days to answer all of the comments that were in there. So I wanted to thank everybody who's been interactive on the channel. Thank you for coming and checking out, for giving us a shot over here. We have a lot of great things coming out. So I really appreciate it. It took us, saying this to Ellis, and I've talked about it on the show a few times, but Mark and I were talking, and obviously it's a very different time. Nobody knew who the hell we were back then. And it took us 3 years to get to 25,000 subscribers. And luckily enough, with all the support from you guys, I've been able to get to 32,000. The goal is to get to 50,000 by April 1st. So hopefully, if you're enjoying the channel, you can not only hit that button, the notification button, and all that, but comment. Like I said, I respond to everybody. Get the word out there about the channel, and if you like it, tell your friends about it. All right, let's keep moving. So that was the third one. Thank you, Dominic. Great question. Ori Kagan, will Boba bite it by the end of the season? And how would you feel if he does? By the end of the season, I don't think so, because I think that they're going to. I think they want to move it, meaning they want to move it into the next season. They want to do a second season, from what the rumors are. So I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna bite it in then. Now, if the question is he gonna bite it at the end of the series? The only way that I think that they can really pull that off, or at least make it really going gangster style, and I just don't think they'll do it because Disney, is if Fennec does it. Because Fennec is still, you want to go Game of Thrones? Because Favreau said this is Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, it's going to be Fennec that whacks him. Because if Fennec keeps giving him advice, telling him what to do, hey, listen, you got to let him carry you. You gotta do this. You gotta whack this guy. You gotta take him out. And he's like, no. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it with respect. And if she's the one that takes him out at the very end, that would be great. And she's the one sitting on the throne, that would be fantastic. I don't think they'll do that though. That's the way that they'll if they're gonna do it, you have Fennec turn on him. But I just don't see that happening. So no, I don't think he eats it. Jamie, let me see. Jamie, she's in a better position here. Jamie Rudolphin. What are the chances that we're going to get the pilot episode of Kenobi under 40 minutes like Boba. I'd really love a longer pilot for Kenobi, at least 45 minutes, since we're getting 6 episodes. And that's why I think, even though it's only 7 episodes for Boba, I do think that that it'll be a longer episode. I think it's gonna be. I just think there's more story to tell with Obi-Wan, and I think Obi-Wan's gonna end with Ewan McGregor. I think we get about 45 to 50 minutes on the first one. Probably we might get a half an hour episode inside the entire series. If you look at it, like, I think that the entire movie will be close to like 4.5 hours long if you watch it as like one big movie. And remember that Obi-Wan's a little different though too. And I don't know how much there was a script. They were going to make, like, before Disney Plus was really a thing, and it was just kind of them talked about, and there was no official plan, and they were still focusing on the movies. I'm sorry, guys. This microphone's been doing it today. Obi-Wan has was a film. It was a full film. The script was done, and the director, Billy Elliot, was going to do it, and they had it all planned out, and it was going to happen. The question is, how much of that script survived, if any of it? Did they redesign it? Did they reconfigure it? Did Filoni and Favreau have nothing to say about it while it was a movie, and then a lot to say about it once it was TV? Deborah Chow, what does she lend as she came through? So, yeah, that's I do think we're going to get a longer episode though, especially because it's so. I do think that they probably have heard the concerns that it's shorter episodes. I don't mind the shorter episodes, to be honest with you, because I watched this whole thing again after I watched the way that I do it is I watch each episode week to week, which I love, by the way. I think it works so much better than binging for this. And then once it's all over, I watch the whole season, this like a big movie. And I think that with Obi-Wan, I would like to see it start out because we're just craving it so much. I would like to see a longer episode. I'll be bummed, but not enough that it's like, oh man. But yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to see a 45-minute pilot at least to start. It'd be great. All right, moving on. Thank you, Jimmy, for that one. Did I say Jamie before? I'm sorry. I don't think I did, but who knows? All right, Bren Crabe. Hey, Kristian Harloff, hope it's not too late. But what do you think of the rumor about Andrew Garfield being put into Morbius, and that's what the delay is for? True or false? I think this would be awesome. I don't know, Bren. I might want to put yours as the main topic today. Will Andrew Garfield show up in Morbius? That might be a better one. No offense. I like that. I think we have Star Wars. We just did a lot of Star Wars recently, so maybe this was one. I don't know. See, you guys are watching it happen on the air. I think that the delay might have a lot of different things involved. Part of it is the variant. Part of it is the idea that Spider-Man is still making money for him in the theater. And it's one of the few movies that's still making money at all. So they don't want to put it up against another one of their properties because they probably thought at that point Spider-Man would be done. I don't think anybody expected Spider-Man to do as well as it did. Not as well as it did during this time. 2-3 years ago, okay, these are the numbers that we thought, but I think, remember, there was no movie during the pandemic that made over $120 million, if that. And this movie shattered that and then some. So it's possible. The rumors as far as will Andrew Garfield show up in the post-credit scene? Did they make that much of an investment into Garfield? Because Garfield is the standout. Garfield is the standout of the movie. One of the standouts. There's a lot of standouts, but it's great to see. And obviously, at this point, if you haven't seen Spider-Man, sorry, it's just been out for a while, and you should be avoiding it. And it's all over the freaking place. So, but anyway, it's great to see because Garfield's such a great actor, and he's so good in Tick, Tick, Boom. I haven't seen him in that Tammy movie yet. I want to see that as well. But he's so great of an actor. And then you look at his performance in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. He just does some great stuff in those movies, and the movies are just like okay at best. I actually like them better now than I did when I saw them in the theater. At least number 2. Two I hated so much. It's, I mean, hear me out. It's still not a great movie. But there's some stuff in there that actually really works, and a lot of that stuff is him. And so for him to show up and do what he does in this movie, and everybody's already calling for The Amazing Spider-Man 3, which I think is great. I think that it would make a lot of sense for Sony to capitalize on this, to put him in it, and to also use him, and to also use Toby. Like, I don't think anybody at this point, the way that they did it, that people who saw that movie, and like it seems like a lot of people have, that they'll get it. Oh, it's just different. It's just different timelines or different universes. So Toby gets Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man 3, and we get to Spider-Man 4, and we get to see him with Mary Jane, as he described. You know, they're a different, like, Toby's Spider-Man was great too. He's just a more wise, kind of older Spider-Man, and then you get Garfield, who has an opportunity now to do some more stuff. So I think, do I think that that's going to happen in Morbius? I don't, but I wouldn't be upset if it happened. And I think it's a good way to get people talking and get people into that movie. I'll tell you that, to get people to see that movie. Because I think the more that they delay it, the less people are going to, especially in the time you're still going to be hitting the tail off of the Batman. You're getting right into the summer season. Morbius in April. I know that they were supposed to putting in summer last year, but it didn't have this type of competition. I think it's going to get slaughtered in April, absolutely slaughtered. But you know, if there's rumors that they have Garfield in the post-credit scene, maybe that gets people into the theaters. I don't know. It's possible though. I'm not gonna say no, but at the moment, I think it's doubtful. All right, next question. Joe Clancy. With all the rumors flying around, what's your expectations of Flashpoint? It's on my most anticipated list at number 3, I think. 3 or 4. I can't remember. It might have been 4. Either way, very excited for it. And Keaton coming back, I think, and I know he's coming back in Batgirl also. But Keaton coming back is the selling point for me. Ezra Miller, to me, played much better in the Snyder Cut version of Flash. He was played better as Flash in the Snyder Cut Justice League, and found myself wanting to see more of him. Found him very annoying in the other one. Found myself wanting to see more of him because of the Snyder Cut. And I think that the way that they played this, and now because of the success also, I know and I understand DC probably did it first as far as the multiverse, and they've been doing it in all their shows. But it does help them, the success of No Way Home, that by bringing in this nostalgia with Keaton and doing these other things that they might do with other characters from the Flashpoint. So I don't want to have, it was similar to No Way Home. Although the difference is you didn't know if both Toby and Andrew Garfield were in it, and then you kind of did, but there's no confirmation, right? You know Keaton's in it, and they sell you on it. I think that's a smart move. So I think that's going to be a big thing. I just want him to be used well enough, and I think he's going to have a pretty big part. So that's my expectations for that one. That's the one. All right, next question. Luke Studdard. Any idea on how you'll build up the new Schmoedown season, and how can after shows help with that build up so this season is the biggest and best season the Schmoedown has ever seen? Well, thank you, Luke. As I mentioned earlier, Luke, most likely, after the meeting I had yesterday, you guys should be prepared for a delay. That's the first part of it. But that being said, making sure that the channel is going to be very different. It's going to have matches on Tuesday and Friday. Teams most likely every Tuesday, unless there's this kind of switch up here and there, but most likely Tuesday. Singles matches will be on Friday, and whether we throw Inner Geekdom, and we could flip it around sometimes. And if there's not enough teams matches to be had at the time, we can throw an IG match or Star Wars match on that Tuesday, whatever it might be. But we're gonna on the days that we don't have matches on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, not only will patrons be able to have more material and more things, but we're also going to put stuff on there, like whether it's greatest clips or other things on there. Like, we're going to take stuff. I was talking to Frank Janish about it, and you look at, and to answer your question, how you can help is share these particular clips, especially on social media. Let's say because what I've noticed here, if I'm very excited about, say, the Batman, and I check out the Batman, I watch Batman trailer, new people are coming in. Maybe you found this channel through one of those reactions, one of those reviews, because you were searching for Spider-Man or for Batman or for Star Wars or Boba Fett or Cobra Kai, and that's how you found it. I want to make sure that we do stuff like that for Schmoedown. So, for example, if we know at the time that, like, let's say Scream's coming out, we have 7 seasons of matches, and hundreds of questions probably about Scream that have been throughout the year. So what I would like to do is put something in there, like a 2-minute clip that says, how good are you at Scream trivia? Put a picture of Nev Campbell and Ghostface on the thumbnail, Scream trivia. And then if you're brand new to the channel and you see it and you say, oh, this seems like a fun game show, and then at the very end it says, hey, you want to learn more? Go to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. I want to build up new audience. I want to make sure that the existing audience is happy, that they're having some fun, that we're going to do. And that's the other thing, though, too. I want to make sure that everybody who's, like, it just seems like, especially in it could have been the digital age, too. It seemed like a lot of the fan base started to, like, argue about stuff, and it started to get a little bit more, like, I don't know, a little contentious at points. And, like, this is not what this is supposed to be. I just never liked that. So hopefully this season changes that changes it around. Okay, let's move. I think this is the last one. Reese Parkin. If a What If series was made for Star Wars, what stories should be explored, and do you think that they could tell an alternative sequel trilogy through that medium? So I think the reason why they did the Marvel one is because it was based off a successful comic. And I know that they did something like that in Star Wars beforehand. I don't think that they would do it, because I think that the other reason why is that What If seems to actually be factoring in to a lot of the stuff happening in the MCU phase at the moment also. And even if you look at the trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, there seems to be stuff that happened in What If that's playing out in the actual movie. Maybe not. So for Star Wars, I would love to see them do it. I think it's a great idea. And to me, it's the easy one. Is what if Anakin trusted Mace Windu? What if Mace Windu would have taken out Palpatine? Like, what would have happened afterwards? Like, what would it be like? What would have happened with Luke and Leia? Would they stay together? With their parents? Like, all that stuff. That would be very interesting. What if Shmi would have went with Anakin instead? There's so many different ones. What if who knows? Like, a lot of it. What if Leia? What if Leia went to Tatooine, and what if Luke went to Alderaan? Those are good ones. So that's it. I think that's the show for today. I had some fun. Did you guys have fun? I hope so. Once again, if you're brand new to the show, welcome. Subscribe. Hit that notification button. This show, for the moment, the big thing is this is me just kind of shooting the shit. Tomorrow will be me and the Cobra Kai guys. We'll be doing that one digitally. But I'm trying. Even though Sith Council is going to be doing digital for a little bit, I don't want to make a habit of it again. I just don't. I get way more out of talking to people in studio than I do through a computer. But I'll for Sith, I want to do that. Again, you guys seem to really enjoy it last night and have the crew back. So I'll continue to do that for Sith during Boba for sure. And hopefully by the time Boba is done, we'll be back in studio. And that's really it. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all. If you're brand new, once again, thank you for joining. And we'll see you very, very soon. All right, guys. Peace out.